Hello everyone, it's Kathy Winter from Diversity on Board, and I'm pleased to share with you part 1 of our overview of Diversity on Board. First, a few words about Maytree. Maytree's expertise is developing, testing, and implementing programs and policy solutions related to immigration, integration, and diversity in the workplace, in the boardroom, and in public office. We take a unique approach. We are solution-oriented, practical, and risk-taking. Diversity is part of the Canadian fabric. We are a country of 33 million, and each year we welcome 250,000 more to our shores. 1 in 5 Canadians is foreign-born, and this is the highest proportion in 75 years, and second only to Australia. Roughly 2/3 of Canada's population growth now comes from net international migration. Let's take a look at the Greater Toronto Area. The United Nations identified the Toronto City region as the most diverse in the world. Almost half of the population is now foreign-born. By 2031, visible minorities will be the visible majority in Toronto, comprising 63% of the population in the Toronto census, and that's up from 43% in 2006. However, this rich mosaic of cultures, perspectives, and talent that we see in the face of the Greater Toronto Area is not reflected in the region's decision-making bodies. For the past 3 years, we have been measuring diversity at the top of the Greater Toronto Area's corporate, public, and non-profit organizations through diversity counts, conducted on behalf of DiverseCity by the Ryerson Diversity Institute. The data show that while there is some progress, visible minorities remain underrepresented in the senior-most leadership positions in the Greater Toronto Area. In 2009, 13.4% of the leaders studied were visible minorities. 2 years later, this figure is 14.5%. compared to 49.5% of the population studied. So there's a stark disconnect between the people who live and work in the Greater Toronto Area and their representation in leadership positions. This is a missed opportunity. Diversity in leadership matters. Research has shown that the more diverse the voices, the perspectives, the knowledge, and the experiences of the leaders at the table, the more creative and innovative our approaches and solutions will be. This in turn leads to more opportunities and increased prosperity. Moreover, beyond the business case for diversity, leaders reflect our values as a society. They help us imagine ourselves in different roles and in different ways. We, as a civil society, cannot have a large segment of our population excluded from positions of power and influence. When individuals see others like them in leadership positions, it makes them feel valued and gives them something to aspire to. We have a large pool of diverse leaders ready to contribute. We just need to tap their power. So based on this factual research, as well as our knowledge of the vast pool of qualified visible minorities in our city region, we created a program, Diversity on Board. Diversity on Board addresses the disconnect between the demographics of the people who live and work in our city and their representation on positions of power, influence, and decision-making. It connects qualified individuals from visible minority and underrepresented immigrant communities to agencies, boards, and commissions in the nonprofit and public sectors. Stay tuned for part 2, How Diversity on Board Works, coming to you soon.